For those of you thinking that you cannot unseat a sitting president at the tribunal, think again or get ready to be shocked. The truth is, in the face of overwhelming evidence, there's really nothing the judges can do. It is only when matters that are before the court are not proved beyond reasonable doubt, then the case is left to the prerogative of the judges. That is when you can assume that kind of assumption that you cannot unseat a sitting president at the tribunal. Look, before now, there has never really been a contest at the tribunal. There has never really been. In fact, the closest you have had to this is Tinubu's own cases where, according to what Osinbajo said, he went to UK to go and bring forensic auditors to go through the polling papers, the ballot papers, and then because of that, he was able to retrieve some mandates on behalf of the likes of them, the governor, the then governor of Edo State, and the likes, Oshiomhole. Aside from that, there has never really been a contest at the tribunal. Not anything close to what we are seeing now with the Peter Obi defense, with the Peter Obi's petition. And that's the truth. If any candidate is able to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt, the hands of the justices will be tied. It will not matter what monies are paid to them. They cannot give a wrong judgment. The matter on ground right now, the matter at the Presidential Elections Petitions Court or the tribunal, whichever you choose to call it, is such that Peter Obi has several prayers. And from the activities, the events that we see, it is becoming more and more difficult, if not impossible, for INEC, for Tinubu, for APC, and even for Shetima to put up reasonable defense. We saw what happened with INEC's defense. First, all their witnesses refused to show up. At the end of the day, one witness managed to show up, a deputy director at INEC, and the defense he put up, you can't really call that a defense. In fact, it was more like corroborating Peter Obi's case. It was more of corroborating Peter Obi's defense. But let's look at it from this way. There are certain factors that are within the control or within the interpretation of the justices, even though you and I know that these factors well favor Peter Obi. But some of these factors are still within the prerogative of the justices based on the constitutional rule of the justices. Such factors as 25% of the FCT. You and I know, and majority of Nigerians know, that 25% of the FCT is a constitutional requirement based on two previous judgments of the Supreme Court on the matter, cases that were presented by Buhari. Based on those two, we know that 25% of the FCT is a requirement. But then again, the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land, and the Supreme Court is vested with the responsibility of interpreting the law. And if the Supreme Court has interpreted that to be a condition before, it is still well within the prerogative of the Supreme Court to interpret it however they want to. So that 25% case is one of the grounds that, in my opinion, falls on the prerogative of the judges, regardless of what you and I think. The second ground, which is the disqualification of Tinubu, a previous antecedent that we have seen is that the Supreme Court has ruled that in the case of PDP, that PDP or Atiku is not a member of the APC, so he cannot meddle in its affairs, thereby ruling that PDP did not have local standi, and then throughout the case. So based on that as an antecedent, we can also just look at it. It's not final, but 50-50%, we can say that it is within the prerogative of the justices or the judges to say or determine that case otherwise. And it goes on for several other conditions. But you see the condition that is not dependent on the prerogative of the justices. You see those Form EC 8As. It does not depend on the prerogative of the judges. The judges, upon seeing the Forms EC 8As, by the time all the Form EC 8As are collated, from what we have seen in Lagos and all the extra votes for APC removed, in Plateau and all the extra votes for APC removed, in Rivers and all the extra votes for APC removed, just those three states alone, the Form EC 8A figures already shoots Peter Obi ahead. So once the Form EC 8A are tabulated, there is nothing the judges or the presiding justices can do. You cannot dispute the evidence of the Form EC 8As. And that is why you see the likes of even them, Festus Okoye, coming out to say that, the political parties had their accredited agents. According to the Electoral Act 2022, it empowers the political party to have the originals of the polling unit result, which is the Form EC8A. And mind you, the Form EC8A in the hand of the polling or the political party agent is an original copy. And aside from that original copy, which is made original by the Electoral Act. There is also the original copy of the police. So those are two original copies that each political party is at liberty to fall back on. So when you fall back on all of these, and then you now add on top of that the fact that you had overvotings, particularly in many of the northern states where it is reported that even the beavers were not even used. By the time you add that, you now come to the conclusion very easily that Peter Obi is in the lead. And when you have this kind of indisputable evidence, there is nothing the justices can do. And that is the truth of the matter. Absolutely nothing the justices can do. And that is why I say to all those that are doubtful that, oh, you cannot unseat a sitting president at the tribunal, to think again. They should get ready for an earthquake judgment, because there are certain parts of elections that cannot be disputed, and that those facts depend on the polling unit. See, the polling unit is the center of the universe as far as election is concerned in Nigeria today. And as far as the polling unit results are concerned, you and I know who is in the lead. The results for Lagos, the results for Plateau, the results for Rivers alone. If you add Ekiti on top of that, you add Adamawa and you add Taraba, Magana Yakari, the case is finished. We will witness, by the grace of God, an earthquake judgment that will change the course of things forever in Nigeria, and the people's mandate will be restored. Let us put our eyes on the judiciary. These people know that the power actually is not 100% within the hands of judges. That is why they are panicking right now. If you add on top of that the report of the European Union election monitoring group that was just presented, if you add on top of that, it makes the case easier for the judges to determine, because the evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. So I am of good cheer that this mandate will be reclaimed. I am. They expected, I'm talking about the APC now, that by now Nigerians will be quiet. Oh, once Tinubu is sworn in, then that is it, game over. Hello, newsflash. We're just getting started. As you can see, after the inauguration of Tinubu, more and more evidence have been coming out. More and more evidence have been coming out. And the way they are coming out, there's nothing the power of incumbency can do for Tinubu. When the judgment comes, he will not have a choice but to leave office and hand over that office to the rightful person, so that Nigerians can be saved. We are suffering already under this kind of leadership. You need to see what even popular celebrities are saying. There's a neighbor of mine who is doing well. I wouldn't say for somebody to have a Mercedes GL 550, you know the person is doing well. In fact, I just got to understand yesterday that the GL 550 actually has a full tank of 170 liters. If you multiply that by 540, that's like 90,000 naira to fill. And if you also know how the GL 550 Mercedes works, they are gas guzzlers. So within 4 or 5 days, that full tank can be gone if you are a very heavy user. So for you to have that kind of person who has that kind of car to be complaining, it means that the thing is even touching even the so-called well-to-do. And if it is touching the well-to-do, you can imagine what it's doing to the downtrodden. We need to change this. I saw a report the other time of a celebrity, a Yoruba Nollywood actress, complaining that she's tired. She says she's tired. In fact, she said, God knows I'm tired. That's actress Biola Bayo cries out over hiking price of petrol. I mean, who wouldn't be tired? Who wouldn't be? Only the people who are using government money to fuel convoys of over 124 SUVs. Only those people will not be tired. The remainder of Nigerians are tired. They are tired. And I can tell you, even the judges, they are tired. So those of you thinking you can hide behind, power of incumbency, you will be disappointed. Because when evidence is overwhelming, such as we have now, there's little the judges can do. And because the matter even affects the judges or the justices, they will do the right thing. By the grace of God, they will do the right thing, because our eyes are on the judiciary right now to do the right thing and save Nigeria's democracy. It's unfortunate that it is the people who threaten Nigeria's democracy that are coming out to say that EU's election report is threatening Nigeria's democracy, where they are the ones that started the threat. They are the ones who went and started using thugs to threaten innocent voters, even stabbing them. They are the ones that went on national TV, caught on camera, saying that people should snatch election results, they should snatch power, they should run with it. They are the ones that were caught threatening democracy, and they are the ones coming to say, EU's report is threatening democracy, because they are seeing the handwriting on the wall. The defense of INEC was weak. I am suspecting that when the APC's defense starts tomorrow, it will even be weaker, but because there's nothing to defend. When that of APC comes, it will be even the weakest. And at the end of the day, justice will be done and Nigerians will get their mandate back by the grace of God.